All right, good morning, Panama City Beach. Happy November 10th and happy cold November 10th. Tomorrow on the 11th, Veterans Day. Thank you to all our veterans. There's a lot of them down here on the coast. So big thank you for all that you do. But it's going to be really cold tomorrow morning. Not to the point we're out wrapping the spigots, but it's going to be cold. And tis the season. You can see behind me, the Joiner house is in full effect. We had this up the day after Thanksgiving. The day after Halloween is how soon we get started with Christmas here at our house. So listen, lots going on. We're in that lull right now between like Halloween and Thanksgiving, right? So it's not crazy busy, but it's steady. My word for the week, I got asked 5 times last week, how's the market? It's the number one thing people ask me, not Casey, how you doing? Casey, how are the kids? Casey, how's the market? That's the number one thing I get, right? Steady. Let's see if that translates into the numbers. Glad to be with you guys. Let's share screen here and just get into it. Let's go little Casey and big screen. Here we go. New listings, 13. Now, again, if this is the first time joining us, what we do each week is we bring you the week that was in a 72-hour window. So this is the last 72 hours, and we treat that as the week that was in Panama City Beach. 13 new listings. Listen, if you saw my quarterly update for Panama City, particularly condos, just 13 new listings is a really good thing, right? Because across the board, we want some pockets to see less inventory, all right? Let's see what else is going on here. Pending properties right here, pending 17. So listen, that's great. Saturation rate is the rate at which you are taking off properties that are also on the market, right? So what we want to do is, as those 13 new come on, we want to take off as many as possible. Listen, taking away more under contract than came on the market is a very, really, really, really good thing, right? That's not normally what we get to do. So that's not going to happen all the time. But when you get a low amount of inventory like this, you can see that. So we'd love to keep that pace going for a long time and keep chopping away at some of this inventory. Closed properties, 13. So that's right in line. So we just want to know with the closed properties that we're at least the ones that are going under contract, like the pending properties, we're at least closing most of them, right? That's what we want to see. Price changes down here at the bottom, 32. That's happening, right? If you're in one of those condo buildings, for the most part, you're seeing a lot of inventory around you. It can get competitive. You're going to have to move it. It does work. It does work with buyers. They get an email hit in their inbox. They're like, hey, these guys are active. Let's take a look at this property, all right? One thing I want to point out, look at this one right here. Under contract taking backups, this category. I just want to talk to you about that for a second. That's technically more contracts, okay? So what we had pending 17, we really could say pending 23 because 6 people put their house under contract, but it's in a taking backup category. What that typically means is that they likely accepted some kind of offer that might be contingent upon the buyer maybe selling their property or some other contingency that pushed them into saying, hey, listen, we kind of reached an agreement, but we're taking backups or something's going on. And buyers, that's nothing to run away from. A lot of times those contingencies, those backups, like that contingency might be a hard one to overcome. Like, hey, I got 30 days to sell my house. Well, if it's a buyer, you might want to take a look at that. Like I wouldn't dismiss a listing because it was in that category. Okay. So listen, that's great news all across the board for Panama City Beach. And that's the number one thing that we need going out the rest of this winter. Here's my prediction. I would love to see the inventory stay low, and I think it will. I don't think it's going to stay this low. All right. I think the pending contracts around that 17 is going to be consistent, but I think the inventory will increase a little bit as we get around the holidays. Remember, a lot of this is strategic, right? A lot of people go, okay, I was thinking about putting my house on the market, but I'm going to put it on at a time where the next set of eyeballs are coming around, whether it be Thanksgiving, whether it be kind of at the end of the year, Christmas. All right. Because everybody also knows as we get to January, a lot of times we can see a little bit of a slowdown. Not always, but we typically finish out the fourth quarter these last couple of months pretty strong, right? So listen, I like the trend, but again, the trend needs to be 3 weeks in a row. 1 week's not a trend. 2 weeks isn't a trend. 3 weeks is a trend. So if we can continue for 3 weeks to take away more properties by putting them under contract than even come on the market, man, that's a great recipe, particularly in the Gulf Front condos. Okay. All right. Appreciate you guys. Listen, in the comments, if you want more from this channel, I've got more stuff for you, more property videos. Going to introduce you to some neighborhoods, things like that. But if there's anything else you want to see more of from me, please let me know in the comments. Even just let me know where you're watching from. But anyway, appreciate you guys. Here to help. Look forward to seeing you next week.